In this episode, we talk about 3 ways that you can learn something new every day. Get excited because this is Tiny Leaps. Big change. Big change. Welcome to another episode of Tiny Leaps. Big Changes, where I share simple strategies you can use to get more out of your life. My name is Greg Clunas, and in this episode, we are looking at some very basic, very simple advice to learn something new every single day. This is something that is in my opinion, a requirement for personal growth, for our development. And unfortunately, many of us, as we get older, as we graduate school and move into the workforce and maybe start families, we often put learning on the back burner. It's something that is only for kids, right? Like, we've gone through school, we've done all the learning, now we're in the real world and we just need to do stuff. We just need to pay our bills, we need to take care of our family, we need to clean the house, whatever it is that we need to do. So learning gets put on the back burner. But unfortunately, if you want to grow in your career, if you want to grow in your personal life, if you want to grow in your relationships, if you want to grow as a parent, if you want to grow in your finances, you have to be willing to continue that learning process, and you have to be willing to take learning on as a self-study. You have to make the effort, you have to put in the time, you have to find the time. And so we're going to look at 3 ways that you can do that on a day-to-day basis, even if you are super short on time, even if you don't feel like you're still capable of learning new things. So this should be a pretty good one. But before we jump into it, let's talk about today's sponsor. How would you feel if you saved an extra $1,500 this year without lifting a finger? That's exactly what Empower can help you do. It's an awesome mobile app that makes saving and managing your money the easiest thing that you'll do all day. For starters, Empower has an automated savings feature. You simply tell the app your weekly savings target, and every day, Empower studies your income and spending and automatically knows when to move the right amount of money into your savings account, where you're less likely to spend it. It's called AutoSave. Just set it and forget it. If you want to save $1,500 more this year, you've got to check out the Empower app. Download Empower, that's EMPOWER, in the App Store or Play Store. You can get $5 for free, $5 when you use the offer code TINYLEAPS. Head over to empower.me/tinyleaps and use the offer code TINYLEAPS. Okay, we are back. We're talking about 3 very simple ways that you can learn something new every single day without the time, when you don't have time, when you don't have the free space to really actively look for this information. Now, the first thing I'm going to recommend is sort of an obvious choice if you're listening to this show or if you're watching it on YouTube, is to listen to podcasts. So podcasts are an amazing way to learn something new. You have, of course, the major shows from major studios like Gimlet shows, like NPR, like Slate Media, any of these sort of major media companies that have a history of producing high quality content and research and journalism around different topics. Those are always great ways to learn something. But you also have an entire world of independent podcasts hosted by people who are experts in certain areas, people who are building expertise, people like me who are learning things as they go and then sharing them with you. Podcasts are such a powerful way to learn something new because, and this is the key part, and you already know this, right? I'm just reminding you of something you know, but maybe you haven't thought about it in this way. Podcasts are powerful for learning because it allows us to continue learning in our found time. Now, what do I mean by found time? It's that time of day where you are doing something else that does not require your full focus. So maybe you are getting ready for work. Maybe you're driving to work, but you've done this route 1,000 times. Maybe you're working out and you just want something to listen to. These are moments throughout your day where you are still accomplishing the thing, right? You're busy. You can't just sit down and read a book, but you might be able to listen to something because the task you're doing doesn't require require you to be 100% engaged and focused and just not distracted at all. And so listening to a podcast in those moments allows you to learn in those moments. It allows you to keep the lifestyle that you have, the busy life that you lead, while still bringing learning into it. Now, I'm not going to recommend any specific podcasts because there are so many out there on so many different topics, and it's all going to depend on what you want to learn. What I will say is that if your goal is to learn meditation, if you want to learn facts about a historical figure, if you want to learn the guitar or some other instrument, there are podcasts out there for you. Whatever it is you are trying to learn, there's very likely a podcast trying to teach it. So do the research. Just pull up your app, wherever you listen, if it's Spotify or Castbox or Apple Podcasts, and just search that thing, whatever it is you want to learn, search that thing and see what pops up under podcasts. And then maybe do a Google search and search top blank podcast, with blank being replaced by whatever the topic is for you. But podcasts are one phenomenal way of learning something every single day without having to find more time for it. You just use the time that currently maybe is not being utilized as well as it could be. Now, the second big way to learn something new every day, this is one I'm a massive fan of. It's very simple, but many of us don't think about it. It's to ask someone a question. And when you ask that question, it can't be a leading question. It can't be a question around something that you already know or have some information on. It has to be a question that inspires a new insight for you. Now, here's what I mean. If you are at work, you've got coworkers, you are in an office environment, or maybe you're not in an office environment, but you still have coworkers, you have people that you work with, people you see every single day. Those people, while they may not be experts in anything in particular, they have a different life experience than you, right? They have looked at the world differently than you have up to this point. And so they're going to answer a question. They're going to have a different perspective on all of the different topics that you might be able to talk about. The problem is that in that environment, many of us put up a wall. We try to keep professional and personal. And then even in our personal, there's so many different degrees of personal relationships that we end up never really getting to the core of any real relationship with people outside of maybe our spouse. Now, I'm not arguing that you need to take your professional relationship and make it more personal than you're comfortable with. No one is saying you need to do that. What I am saying is that you need to be willing to ask somebody something about something that they might have some knowledge in, some experience they might have in their life, and be willing to listen to that response and hear what they have to say. And even if your immediate thought is, oh no, they're wrong. Let's say, I don't know, you hit your head one day and you decide you want to talk politics at work. Maybe your initial thought is, oh, this person's wrong. They're so stupid. Why would they vote for this guy? Blah, 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 right? Well, what you need to understand is that they believe what they believe. They look at the world, how they look at the world, based on the perspective they've developed over X period of time, right? So they were born, they've gone through X number of experiences, and that created the perspective and worldview that they have today. So their responses aren't wrong for them. They might be wrong for you based on the perspectives and worldview that you have, but they're not wrong for them. They are the correct answer for them. Now, if we want to look at it from a factual point of view, neither of you might be correct. But this is why things get so interesting and difficult to solve, because none of us can understand the perspective of everyone around us. And so the things that we argue for, the things we fight for, the things we believe may not be good for those people, but we will never know that unless we're willing to listen to them, unless we're willing to talk to them. And in order to do that, we have to ask a question. We have to learn more about the people around us. So the second easiest way to learn something new every day is to simply focus on learning about the people you are talking to every single day. Where did your coworker go to high school? What language did they take? What are they interested in? What do they do when they get out of work? These are things that, do you need to know about your coworkers? No, they're not requirements to having a good professional relationship, but they are the key to learning more about them and potentially learning something new overall from them. And then the last thing that I'm going to recommend for learning something new every day is to subscribe to newsletters. Now, there are thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, if not millions of newsletters out there across any different topic. One of them that I recommend if you are interested in business and finance and that sort of thing is called Morning Brew. It's run by an acquaintance of mine, someone I've met a few times in person. We're part of some of the same communities, but we don't really know each other that well. But they do an incredible job. And their newsletter was actually one of the things that helped me realize the value that newsletters have in today's world. Because here's the thing. You can learn anything you want in the entire world. All of it is available online. Every single thing you could possibly want to learn is available online, either for free or paid. And very likely, all of it is available for free as well. The problem is that there's too much. The problem is that there's so much content out there and so much being added at such a fast rate that we're not able to consume it all. We're not able to keep track of it. And because we're trying to learn something. So by definition, we don't know that much about the thing yet, which means we can't self-filter effectively. We can't organize it effectively because we don't know enough to do that. This is the value of newsletters in a world where content is ridiculously saturated, where you are getting notifications from every single app on your phone, where Google, you do a search and you've got thousands of articles to go through. In that world, having content delivered directly to you in your inbox that is helping you to learn something new every day, that is valuable. And that's what newsletters allow you to do. It allows you to get other people to go through and curate and sort and organize the information you're looking for, and send it to you in a form that is digestible, that makes sense, and that you can actually take something away from. If you can get that, then learning is essentially effortless. You wake up every day, you read an email, and you've learned something new. Now, I would say that you need to do some work to process that, because it's not enough just to take in a fact. You remember how school was, right? You learned something for the test, and then after the test, you were done. You don't remember any of it. That's not how we should learn in day-to-day life. We need to learn in a way that allows us to process the information and store it so that it can actually be valuable to us in the future. And so newsletters allow us to learn without all of the searching and the curating required from us. So if we have no time, getting it delivered to us is incredibly valuable. So those are the 3 ways that I recommend learning something new every single day. You can start listening to podcasts. I know you already do. You obviously listen to this show, but try expanding. Try finding some new shows. Try treating your podcast listening time as an opportunity to learn something new rather than as an opportunity to be entertained. That might lead to you picking up something that becomes the foundation of a new skill set that then creates the entire rest of your life. And that's how it can work. That's how it worked for me. I learned about podcasting from listening to podcasts. And then that created this show, and that created everything that I've been able to do since. So that's the first thing, is listen to more podcasts. Find more podcasts around topics that will help you learn those topics. The second is to ask questions, connect with people, speak with them as more than just a professional, oh, I need this paper signed, blah, blah, blah. Ask them about their life, learn about their history, learn about their perspective, and ask them to go deeper on certain things where you want to learn more. And then finally, subscribe to newsletters. Find newsletters out there that are catered to helping you learn the specific topics you are looking for. If you want to learn about leadership, they've got newsletters for that. If you want to learn about business, they have newsletters for that. If you want to learn podcasting, they have newsletters for that. Whatever your topic might be, you can find a newsletter for it, subscribe to it, and have them do the dirty work of searching the internet, curating the content, and sending it over to you. So with all of that said, I hope this was helpful. I encourage you to learn something new today. It does not matter what it is. It doesn't matter what role it plays in your life. Start the process of becoming a learner again. Start the process of engaging in the educational process again. That, I think, will be a major factor in your growth going forward. Thank you so much for being here. If you haven't already, join us over on YouTube at youtube.com/Greg Clunis. Look forward to speaking with you in the comments. And if you're watching this video, drop a comment down below, click the like, and make sure you click the bell as well. And finally, remember that all big changes come from the tiny leaps you take every day.